Hi guys, today we're going to make a beautiful beetroot and strawberry dish. We're going to make beetroot dumplings that are filled with a red onion compote, a beetroot cream, salt crusted baked beetroot, strawberries and a beetroot stem broth with some basil oil. So, let's begin. All the vegetables that I'm using today are from my own garden, including these beautiful beetroots. I also harvested some red onions, strawberries and basil. We're going to cook the beetroots in some salt crust. So first separate the leaves from the beetroots and clean both under some cold water. Really make sure that you remove all the dirt and bugs, especially in the beginning of the stems. Most of the time that's the place where it's hard to remove the dirt. Once cleaned, separate the stems from the leaf and keep both in your fridge for later. Now for the salt dough. Pour 400 grams of flour on your worktop and use the bowl to make a well in the middle. Then fill it with 400 grams of coarse salt and 250 grams of water. Knead this till it's a nice dough. Now flour your worktop and roll out the dough. Then roll the dough on your rolling pin and transfer it on a silicone sheet. Put 800 grams of beetroot on top and cover it well with the salt dough. Now bake them at 200 degrees Celsius for 50 minutes. Once baked, take them out of the oven and gently remove the top of the dough. Let it cool down for a couple of minutes, but don't wait too long to remove the skin. This will be a lot easier when the beetroots are still warm. Now cut 500 grams of the largest cooked beetroots in chunks. The small beets you can cut in 4 and then keep them in your fridge for later. Now for the beetroot cream. First cut 1 red onion in half and clean it. Now chop it. Then heat up a frying pan and add 50 grams of butter, the chopped red onion and 40 grams of sugar. Caramelize this till the sugar starts to color. When it happens, add 500 grams of the beetroot and caramelize this for another 5 minutes. Then deglaze it with 20 grams of white balsamic vinegar and 200 grams of vegetable broth. Let this reduce. Once the broth is completely reduced, transfer the beetroot into a blender and blend it till smooth. Once it's smooth, add a knife tip of xanthan powder and blend it for another minute. This will prevent the cream from splitting. After that, keep it in your fridge for later. Then for the dumpling filling. First cut 3 red onions in half and clean them. Now chop them. Then heat up a frying pan, add a splash of oil and glaze the onions with a generous amount of salt. Glaze them for 30 minutes. After that, add some of the beetroot cream and mix it. Then keep it in your fridge for later. Now let's make the broth. For that, transfer 120 grams of the beetroot stems into a blender. Also add 50 grams of white balsamic vinegar, 15 grams of soy sauce, 3 grams of salt and 30 grams of ginger syrup. Blend this till smooth. Then pour it on a sieve that's lined with a kitchen paper and let it drain in your fridge. Now for the balsamic gel. First pour 100 grams of white balsamic vinegar in a saucepan together with 30 grams of ginger syrup, 40 grams of sugar, 30 grams of pear juice, 3 grams of agar powder and 2 grams of salt. Now mix this well to dissolve the agar powder and then bring it to a boil for 1 minute. Once it has boiled, pour it in a bowl and let it cool down in your fridge. Then transfer it into a blender and blend it into a smooth gel. Transfer it into a piping bottle and keep it in your fridge for later. Now for the basil oil. First pick enough basil for 30 grams of leaves. Transfer them into a blender and also add 150 grams of neutral oil. I use sunflower oil. Then blend it till the oil is at 65 degrees Celsius. It will heat up from the friction. After that, pass it through a sieve that's lined with a kitchen paper and let it drain in your fridge. Then take 1 big raw beetroot and trim it on one side. Use a mandolin to cut the beetroot in thin slices. Lay the slices on your cutting board and cut them with a big round cutter. Then transfer them in a bowl and cover them with the beetroot stem broth. Mix it well and let it marinate for at least 30 minutes. The remaining broth you can bind with a touch of xanthan powder. Then transfer the marinated slices on a tray and put a teaspoon of the filling in the middle. Pipe a small dot of the balsamic gel on top and then close it up on 3 points. Really press the sides so the dumplings don't lose their shape. Keep them in your fridge for later. Now take a couple of strawberries and trim the top. Then cut them in thin slices. After that, take the beetroot leaves and cut them with a small round cutter. Once that's done, we can start to finish the dish. First, use the big round cutter to make a thin circle of the beetroot cream. Place 3 dumplings in the middle. Also add the small beetroots, a couple strawberry slices and the balsamic gel. Then decorate it with the beetroot leaves and finish it off with the stem broth and the basil oil. I played everything 10 minutes after I took it out of the fridge, but this really depends on the weather. Right now it's very hot, so the ingredients will become warm fast, and I like this one just a little fresh and cold. Okay guys, that's it for today. It's 30 degrees outside and I think this dish is more than welcome. It's fresh, it's flavorful, and the colors are just super vibrant and it looks really appealing. So let's just dig in. I'm gonna get one of those dumplings, the beetroot and a strawberry with a lot of the oil and the broth. I think it's really cool that everything from this dish is from our own garden, and yeah, I think that's gonna make it taste even better. So yeah, that's super flavorful. Also giving some to Charlie. Super delicious. It has a lot of texture because the beetroot of the dumpling is raw, so that's really nice. The oil balances out the sourness, the freshness of the dish, and the strawberries just give it that sweet note, which is really nice. So super happy with the dish, and yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy this for sure. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please let me know in the comments on what you want to see next. Like and share the video, and subscribe if you want to support my channel and see more amazing dishes and other recipes like this. And as always, bon appetit!